FBI Director Kash Patel has come out saying Jeffrey Epstein did not traffic girls to other people. Today he sat in a Senate hearing. Tomorrow he sits in another hearing. So he's testifying in congressional hearings. And in his testimony, he actually says Jeffrey Epstein, notorious trafficker, Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting in prison because of the trafficking of girls to people. And Kash Patel actually comes out, the FBI director, and says there's no evidence that Epstein actually trafficked girls to other people. Watch this.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
I didn't think it could happen to me, but just recently someone stole my information and actually bought a car under my name in Texas. While I was standing in the Idaho DMV getting my new driver's license, a thief was driving off the dealer lot pretending to be me. And I only caught it because I was getting bombarded with alerts. Now imagine if I hadn't seen them in time. And this is exactly why today's sponsor, Aura, matters. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your personal info, your phone number, your address, even where you supposedly work, it's because of data brokers. These shady companies collect your data and sell it to anyone, from marketers to scammers, and they make billions doing it. They don't ask your permission. And while they're legally required to remove your info if you ask, they make the process nearly impossible on purpose. Believe me, I'm going through it right now. But if I had Aura set up before, this thief would have had a much harder time. Aura automatically scans and scrubs your information from those data broker sites, and then it keeps it off. It also gives you real-time fraud alerts, so instead of finding out a day later that someone used your name, you get notified right away. That's the kind of tool I wish I had in place when all of this happened. But Aura is more than just removing your data from shady brokers. It's an all-in-one digital security app. It alerts you if your personal info is found on the dark web. It monitors your credit and bank accounts in real time. It gives you a secure VPN, password manager, antivirus, and more. And if something does happen, Aura covers you with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance and 24/7 US-based fraud support. The fact that companies profit off of our stolen data while we're left vulnerable is outrageous. I learned that the hard way. But I'm not leaving myself unprotected anymore, and you shouldn't either. Protect yourself and your family with Aura. Try it free for 14 days at aura.com/Kim Iverson. And in just 2 weeks, Aura will show you where your personal data is being exposed and start scrubbing it off the internet automatically. Again, that's aura.com/Kim Iverson. Didn't they go around telling us for the longest time, we've got the files. We have the files. They even did a whole influencer thing where they gave them these binders of files. We got the Jeffrey Epstein files. Look what we got. Look what we got. And now he's saying, well, we don't have anything, actually. Turns out the FBI has nothing. We don't have any evidence whatsoever that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked girls. What are they trying to do? At this point, what are they trying to do? This isn't just a cover-up of Jeffrey Epstein. It sounds like they're trying to get Ghislaine Maxwell out of prison. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, release the Mossad asset. Mossad wants her out. They need her for something else. So we got to somehow get Ghislaine Maxwell out. We don't want to kill her because we need her back out there in society. So we don't want to suicide her. Instead, we're just going to basically retract everything and say that there's no evidence of trafficking. Do you think her lawyers right now are having a field day? Absolutely they are. They're saying, well then, time to let Ghislaine Maxwell out. There were no girls trafficked to anybody. This is, what are they doing here? So FBI Director Kash Patel says, well, it's not our fault. It's everybody else's fault that there's no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked girls. This is what he says.
And I think the central question for the American people is this. They know that Epstein trafficked young women for sex to himself. They want to know who, if anyone else, he trafficked these young women to. And that's a very fair question. I want to know that answer. And I think you're going to have to do more to satisfy the American people's understandable curiosity in that regard.
Mr. Chairman, may I just respond to that? I agree, Senator. And what we have done, and just to remind folks, the Epstein case files existed in the two prior administrations, in the Obama administration and the Biden administration. And they didn't release anything. And there was President Trump in the first administration that renewed charges against Mr. Epstein. And I know it's a little complicated to understand, but what exists in the Epstein case files was a direct result of the limited search warrants from 2006 and 7, which hamstrung future investigations because of the non-prosecution agreement. And multiple administrations had the opportunity to look at the entirety of that case file and recommend prosecutions against anyone that was trafficked under Mr. Epstein and anyone that participated in that trafficking. And the only person to bring charges was the prior administration against Mr. Epstein. Now, I am not saying that others were not trafficked and others were not involved. What I am telling you is that based on the information we have, and we have continuously and publicly asked for the public to come forward with more information. If there is, we'll look at it. But based on credible information, we have released all credible information, and the information that the Department of Justice and the FBI never releases is information on investigations that are not credible. And we don't release the names of victims who weren't credible. But in the same time, we don't release the names of victims who were credible. And so that's by law. And so the information we are releasing now is historic, and it is also to the maximum capacity that the law allows. And I know that's not going to satisfy many, many, many people. But if they wanted it done right, then the investigation from its origination should have been done right, and he should not have been given a get-out-of-jail-free card to do jail on the weekends for 12 hours a day, and he should have been investigated fully for the entirety of his crime and criminal enterprise, not just from 1997 to 2001.
Senator.
All right, because we've never been able to go back and investigate crimes from the past. We've never been able to do that, huh, Kash Patel? If it wasn't done right the first time, we just can't go back and actually investigate. That's what he's saying. He's saying, well, it was their fault. It was the fault of the people in charge back when Epstein was originally arrested and found out, and they didn't do their job, and so now we have nothing. This is what he's trying to claim. But why don't you actually go get something? That's your job. You're the FBI director. Go get something. There's plenty of people to talk to. There's plenty of investigating you can do. But you're refusing to do it, and one would ask why. And maybe it's because the people who are accused of having the young girls trafficked to them are all very powerful people. And perhaps you're covering for an Israeli spy blackmail plot. That's what you're doing. And we're all seeing right through it. I mean, this is just unbelievably ridiculous. We have a number of people who've been accused of wrongdoing and accused of having women and young girls trafficked to them, from Jean-Luc Brunel, who was also suicided in jail, Prince Andrew. What was that about? I mean, he paid out millions of dollars to Virginia Giuffre. Alan Dershowitz, he was accused. Bill Richardson, the former governor of New Mexico. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump himself, Ehud Barak, Al Gore, Kevin Spacey, David Copperfield, Michael Jackson, Frederick Fekkai, Mick Jagger, Alec Baldwin, Naomi Campbell, Cameron Diaz, Minnie Driver, others. These people were all mentioned in these files. And some of them were accused of wrongdoing. Some of them were not. Some of them were just accused of being there. I suspect some of these people on the list, especially some of the women, especially if they were Victoria's Secret angels, I suspect that they perhaps might even be victims themselves, where the victimization happened young, but because they ended up having a big, long career, they don't want their career tarnished and made it look like they had to sleep their way to the top or whatever. But there's plenty of people to have conversations with. There's plenty of people who are alive that Kash Patel could be asking some questions to, but no, we're just going to say there's just no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked young girls to anybody. There's no evidence whatsoever. And let's just blame it on the old administrations that didn't do their job. I mean, this is so unbelievably outrageous, but it gets worse. Believe it or not, it actually gets worse. He's then asked about Jeffrey Epstein being an intelligence, and this is what he says.
Director Patel, was Jeffrey Epstein an intelligence asset for the United States government or the foreign government? And if so, which agencies or governments?
Mr. Chairman, I can only speak to the FBI as the director of the FBI, and Mr. Epstein was not a source for the FBI.
Okay. Well, at least he didn't say he wasn't Mossad. He wasn't an asset for the Israelis. At least he didn't say that. But I mean, at this point, you might as well just cover up for everybody. But now he's saying he wasn't FBI. But that doesn't, all he's saying is FBI. I mean, that doesn't mean he couldn't have been CIA. Certainly could have also been Mossad. People are really, I don't think anybody really thought he was ever FBI, to be honest with you. So it's kind of a dumb question. But I mean, I think most people believe that he was Mossad and maybe also working in cahoots with CIA and maybe even the British intel as well, or who knows what other intel he was maybe working for. Because if you got blackmail on a lot of powerful people, why not sell it to anybody who will buy it? And maybe that's perhaps how Epstein got so damn filthy rich. A lot of money in selling some secrets to a bunch of state organizations, spy rings, right? So yeah, Kash Patel, there he is, denying that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked young girls to anybody. They don't have any evidence of it. The FBI is not doing their job, and Epstein wasn't FBI. That is what you need to know. And I'm sure any day now we're going to see Ghislaine Maxwell getting out of prison. All is going to be well, and it's just going to be painted over like a big old Democrat hoax, because that's exactly what Donald Trump wants it to be, all at the behest, we all know, all at the behest of Israel. Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iversen Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. It is free for you to watch. Again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, KimIversonShow.com. See you there.